Hello, and welcome back to the Coop de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and we are back after a bit of a break to talk about Aston Villa versus Leeds United. Tommy and Troy are joining me tonight. We might have a man joining later, who knows, but we're going to talk about the game last night, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's all coming up after this. Okay, so we were back at Villa Park. It was a Wednesday night under the lights, and it was Aston Villa versus Leeds. Leeds are a bit of a bogey team for us, and we haven't beat them at Villa Park since Bielsa's been there. So it was always going to be a difficult game. They seem to be a bit of a difficult matchup for us, and it proved to be that way, coming away with a point in the end, but it could have been so much better, Tommy. You're there? You're right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So obviously we went behind quite early, and it was a game of great moments and horrible, horrible mistakes.
I'll get started, Scott. So I've just taken these are my notes from the game. Can you see it?
Good. You're very professional.
Yeah. Hang on. Fuck off, Mings.
Yeah, those are my notes for the game.
Well made. Good point. Well made.
This is page one.
Yeah, he had a bit of a shocker, didn't he?
You know what? I think like pre-chat, I felt like our pre-chat should have been the stuff we spoke about now. So I'm going to take it out of your book. You said he's either a 9 or he's a 4. And that's so spot on. He's never consistent. I feel like Consa's your 6 or your 7, chips in with the occasional goal, does a lot of the dirty work. I feel like Consa is not just doing his role, but also kind of covering up for Mings' imperfections. I guarantee Mings would be on Twitter saying, let the team down, lads, onwards and upwards. And then 3 games later, he's probably going to give a fucking back pass that'll lead to another goal. So not slating him, not a hater, but this time I will be. But yes, we need improvement. I do think that a bid was made for a centre back of some sort. It just never got released. But yeah, now with Consa's red as well, stupid second yellow. I think there was frustration from Mings' stuff ups that I think Consa kind of takes on board too, because that's his defensive partner, and they should be learning and then a bit more synergetic. And as Troy said, had he score 3 and not win at home, momentum was all our way as well.
I thought Consa probably had a poor game as well, unfortunately. And like you said, once you see one mistake from your partner, that can affect you. But, Troy, we went 1-0 down, and then we had that really, really amazing period that shows what we are capable of. And, it was all up to Philip Coutinho and, Jacob Ramsey to steal the show in that first 45 minutes.
Well, we blew rather hot in the first 5 or 10 minutes, and I was reading your comments on the chat, Scott, and oh my God, we're playing so well. Next comment was fuck.
Yeah.
That kind of summed it up.
It did. That goal came out of nothing for Leeds. Yeah.
It did come out of nothing. It was, that little dwarf they've got up front was absolute dynamite, and he hurt us. But it was, I thought, largely against the run of play, and I think mentally it broke us. It broke us to a degree, but it took us a couple of minutes to get back into the game, and we really got back into the game. It just, for the next sort of 15, 20 minutes, it turned into the Ramsey and Coutinho show, and what an enjoyable show that was to watch. It was absolutely magnificent. This young man's getting better and better and better. I think it's an ideal partnership. Having said that, I think Leeds were very clever in the second half and kept well away from them. All their balls were coming down Cash's side, and that left McGinn hemmed back in that corner. I think Bielsa's a smart operator. I don't think he's silly, and I don't think Leeds didn't deserve to get back into that game. I think everyone had agreed that we had a good 20, 25 minute spell, but that's not going to win you a game in a Premier League. I don't care if you're 3-0 up, 4-0 up, 3-1, whatever. You're not going to win a game if you carry on and play poorly for 60 minutes. Not going to work for you.
No, that's it. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people, blaming the referee and, saying that, we should have won the game, but I agree. I think a draw was a fair result in the end. I mean, you should win the game from 3-1 up, but the second half performance wasn't good enough. And Yeah, we just didn't really take that momentum of the 3-1 lead into the second half.
No, the referee, I think a lot of people slagging him were very, very unfair. Apparently, he's from the Gold Coast. I thought he had an exceptional first half. In fact, I'll go as far as saying he's the best. There are the dogs. I think he was the best referee that we've had all season in the first half. Going towards the end of the second half, I didn't think Konza's first yellow card was a yellow card. In fact, I thought it was a foul on him. There was a foul on Konza just outside
it
there.
It was a foul against Konza, Troy. I did look at it again. So what he's done, it's the angle, but he's actually grabbed Daniel James while they're side to side. He has actually grabbed his shirt and pulled him down. So it was the angle.
Fair enough.
It wasn't.
I think he felt he was fouled before he grabbed him, though. That was the thing. That was the frustration. But
not really. I mean, James if James was a big unit, Konza would go down because of force. Because James is a little guy, I don't think the ref probably thought, well, Konza, you barely moved. I'm not going to pay it. So
that's it.
It can go either way.
This is where referees can't do. Sorry, Scott, this is where referees can't do right for doing wrong. It's a situation. He let the game go, and everybody that I saw online was commenting saying he's done really well to let this game flow.
Yep.
He's given advantage, but here's the problem: because Leeds were very quick, very physical side, and we were trying to kick lumps out of them. They were trying to kick lumps. The referee did the right thing in letting it go. In doing the right thing, tempers were flaring, and if you ever look in the second half. The incident with Konza when he tried to mug the goalkeeper, if you have a look behind that, Ollie Watkins has actually thrown a Leeds player to the floor. Tempers were getting flared all over the pitch. So the referee lets things go. He keeps the flow of the game going, and he's brilliant. And the other side of that coin is of course, that he's not clamping down on things. And so the guy can't win. I thought the Cash yellow card was dead wrong. I thought that was a brilliant fucking tackle. And I think it was... Douglas Luiz actually got taken out about 2 seconds before that I thought was a foul that didn't get the referee's attention. That 10 minutes around there, I thought he lost control of the game. But aside from that, I didn't have a problem with the referee. I really didn't.
Is that his first EPL game, Jared Gillett? Because I know he was doing well in the championship. I think it's his first EPL game.
It's one of his first. He's done a few VAR performances.
Yeah, but I don't think he's refed an EPL game ever.
No, I don't think so.
Like I said, all in all, I think that's a pretty good performance for your first game. It wasn't that 10-minute window didn't lead to controversy, 2 goals being scored that should have been disallowed, etc. All in all, and he's an Aussie boy, Gillett. So no, I think fair play to him, and let's assume just like everyone else, he makes mistakes, he owns up to them, and I'm pretty certain he'd probably review his own first performance and see maybe things he let things get out of hand for a bit, and hopefully he bounces back. But no, good job.
Speaking of good performances, Tommy, Philip Coutinho, I just thought in that sort of 20-minute period, like his touches, some of his little nutmegs and his turns, and of course the through ball, first one. The balls. His balls are just great. So just spherical and perfectly timed and shaped. Everything. He's done well. He's doing well. And I mean, let's be honest, that's probably why he's got a 40 million release clause, and it would be absolutely stupid. And I do believe Gerrard would probably be colluding with Liverpool if we were not to pull the trigger after his loan. For Liverpool in the past, I remember, he was relatively consistent, probably could have been more of a world beater, but they said sometimes he went missing in a few of the big games. Then he scores, then he scores worldies. So you never know with Phil. But, with us, I think it's not that he's found his level. He's always going to shine in his team. And I certainly think he's going to bring out the best in Ramsey, because just playing with, I think Ramsey said, he goes, I used to watch Coutinho. Now I'm playing with this guy. And I think it's also, tapped into Buendia. And Buendia's been dominating, just having the likes of Coutinho and Ramsey. And, I'm not saying we're going to be the next Liverpool, but it's like they've got Mane and Salah. They're their 2 guns, where I feel like we've actually got Ramsey, Coutinho, and Buendia. These 3 are all creators. They're all great. Ramsey probably does a bit more of the dirty work. So as much as I said, he's that hybrid function player that, can do the kind of the 6 and also the 10. I think now we're going to probably see him further up the pitch, which probably means at the expense of McGinn, unfortunately. But yeah, Phil, what a star. That first through ball, just where he, curved it around the defense, only a player of his caliber, maybe even him. And I actually saw a YouTube, Facebook feed. It's like, the 5 most skillful players in the Prem. They didn't number them, but Coutinho was, I think, the second one they showed, and it was like De Bruyne and I think Salah.
So, like I said, we've got a real gem on our hands, and I still sometimes pinch myself that he's actually come to Villa because it's not, he's past his prime. He's still got some really good years ahead of him, to be honest. And it's funny, we could have got him for $7.5 million if we did sign him for Inter years ago, pre-Liverpool. But, what could have been, it's not what should have been.
So
we were linked with him back then.
40 million
I did not know
right
that.
now. 40 million right now would be a steal. And I think if
In
you
today's
ask,
market,
you ask 9 out of 10 Villa fans, they would say just pay the money and get it done right now.
We'd still have 60 cash from Grealish if it was a straight for Coutinho deal. So
that's it.
It's good, but no, he's been a star. So unfortunate that we didn't get the points for him.
And with
Buendia, who injected the steroids into Buendia, he's
looking pretty solid, isn't he?
Absolutely immense. I mean, at one stage he was holding off 2 or 3 players, and when he first joined us, a stiff breeze was knocking him over. So big changes.
But they did say it's going to take him a while to adjust, which makes me laugh because he dominated in the Prem 2 or 3 seasons before when they were
with Norwich.
With Norwich, but none. I mean, the team's crap, but to still perform well against other teams, you've got to do well, and he was probably being double teamed half the time.
It's probably a confidence thing, and knowing now that he's going to play every week, that's sort of that lifts your game, and now he can take that extra touch, and and know if I lose the ball, the crowd's not going to turn against me. They're behind me, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So all those things come into play, and I think it showed when him and when Buendia and Coutinho went off, Troy, that we really lack maybe a bit of depth in those creative spots. I mean, you look at the bench. We got Ashley Young coming on, Chukwuemeka. He's 18. He's going to be a great player, but we, maybe sending out all those players on loan and might come back to bite us if we get a few injuries. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I thought Chukwuemeka seemed to get panned a lot on social media as well. I actually thought he was rather good. His instinct is to go forward. It's not to go sideways. It's not to go back. And if he gets trapped, he'll find his way out of a corner and he'll find a pass. His pass accuracy is quite good. He had one shot that was a little bit lame, but forgive him for that. Do you know what? I thought the lad did well when he comes on. Ashley Young, on the other hand, his legs are gone. He might be a semi-decent backup, but in a game that's like that, when you've got a very fast, very physical Leeds team that are throwing the kitchen sink at you, Ashley Young is not your man. Now, apparently, Buendia had a bit of a dead leg. Nothing too serious. He should be back for the next game, and they said they were just looking after Coutinho. He was knackered. He was. It's
a tough unit, isn't he, Coutinho? So I'm trying to shake it off. He probably looked at the bench 2-3 times. It was probably 15 minutes after he copped the knock that he finally went off. Just he gave up. So he's a tough little cookie. I really love that. I don't know if you guys saw the nutmeg where he done it in the corner, and then I think he almost scored it, like went to dink it around. But that's just. Player of his caliber can only do that, to be honest.
Top quality. And I mean, and we're all very disappointed to sort of, draw the game after leading 3-1. But I think with these kind of moments in the game, we can still, be positive that once it all comes together, once we get a 90-minute performance, we're going to absolutely batter someone. We're going to beat someone 4 or 5 and
7-2.
Yeah, why not? And I think that, once Gerrard gets that team structure right and gets the players he wants, that, things are looking really positive. But let's get on to the negatives. Tommy, we got a few bad performances. Mings, you've already spoke about. I thought Konsa, McGinn, Louise, Ollie Watkins, all poor as well.
I think the funny thing is because Coutinho's arrival has seen the attacking flair play start to shine. I mean, I feel that Cash has been somewhat Mr. Consistent. He's never trash. He's never going to be superb, but
always
he knows
puts in
what he needs to do.
Yeah,
I feel like Dean's actually much better defensively than we've said. When he pinched the ball off Rafinha, and I feel like he should have done a softer pass to Watkins. I think that would have killed the game too.
Yeah,
I think
that was
last. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, but. I think that the players that were struggling are now starting to pick up, and now they're starting to shine, and that's probably making the likes of McGinn, Louise, Watkins, Mings, Konsa not look as good. But I think they've probably played like that all season.
Right.
It's not like Ollie's scoring every week. He's been consistently poor, I think. And I think as Troy said, actually, I'll let Troy go into that. What he mentioned earlier, I don't want to steal his thunder, but I feel that Ollie and Ings.
Sorry.
What you mentioned about Ollie, I'll let you mention that soon, because obviously you've done the analysis. But I said Ollie and Ings, obviously it doesn't work. It's been something that's been trying to, be forced. And now we've had to pick one or the other. And I think, look, if one's not scoring, it's simple, go to the other. It doesn't work. Cam Archer, you're up. I think that kid, I'm all for Archer right now. And
I know you're a big Archer fan.
Don't think I'm the only villain. And the funny thing is against was it West Brom, his hold up plays immense. And I feel like he's actually put on a little bit of size. So I feel he could almost be somewhat of our own little, mini Agbonlahor here.
Well, Troy, that beggars the question. Is it time for Ollie to be dropped for Danny Ings?
Yeah, exactly. His head's gone, and I think if we look back, we can draw a map to that, to the day that we signed Ings. I think his mental attitude there was, well, what the hell is wrong with me? I've just been picked with England. What, you're not signing a backup here. You're signing someone to compete with me, and I think that affected him. We've said before he's got a new baby. He's got a lot going on with his life, but that doesn't account for what's going on. And if you have a look at our, I think it was our second goal where Ramsey ran 2/3 of the length of the pitch to Coutinho, and Coutinho had two options. He can go left to Watkins. He can go right to Ramsey. He went right, and you know what? Watkins did the right thing. He pulled two defenders away, but when he didn't get fed the ball, he looked pissed off. And after we scored, everybody went nuts. Have a look at Watkins' face.
I know
he was pissed off.
Yeah,
he was pissed off. And when he finally made his way over to the corner to celebrate, he didn't crack a smile. There is his body language is all wrong. He needs a break. When it was time to take someone off, when Konza was a bit of a naughty boy and mugged the goalkeeper, I thought taking Ramsey off was the wrong decision. If you were going to have a look at who's the most likely to score between Ramsey and Ollie Watkins, it's going to be Ramsey all day long. Take Watkins off. He's completely ineffective. Yes, he works hard in defense. That's not his job. Score goals.
Yeah, but Danny Ings works hard.
Danny Ings also finds the back of the net when he has a chance. Ings is the more lethal out of the two. The problem is we're not playing to Ings' strength. This game was made for Ings. The through balls that we were playing through, Ings is onside. Ings knows how to play the onside trap, the offside trap very well. Where Watkins not so much. He thinks he's going to be, I don't know, like we weren't playing to his strengths, and I don't even feel like Leeds were marking him that well. He was just irrelevant most of the game.
The only problem I could see with a front three of Coutinho, Ings, and Buendia is they're all very small. They're all, we play quite a few long balls from the back, the likes of Mings, and are they going to just be coming straight back at us? But, does Ollie win more balls in the air and that sort of thing than Danny Ings would? Possibly.
We'd have to change the gameplay though. And again, Coutinho and Buendia don't play long balls. They play on the deck, and that would be to Ings' strength. So again, also Ings, Coutinho, Buendia, they're all informed.
Yeah.
I'd say Ings is probably more informed than Watkins.
Right.
Go on.
No, I was going to say there's a simple solution. If we're going to use the long ball, there's a big lad that plays for Nottingham Forest on loan. Maybe we can get him.
Keenan Davis.
Well, that's it. That goes back to the.
I feel like he's actually just never had a chance. It's either injury or something. When he's come on, sometimes he's done some good things. And I remember he was dominating in the championship at one point. We thought he was going to be the next Benteke.
I think Dean Smith had him playing the Ollie Watkins role, and that's just not his game.
No, he's a hold-up player. I think could it be like a Davis and Archer up to Carew and Agbonlahor reunited?
I remember Grealish used to always say he liked playing with Keenan Davis because he knew if he passed him the ball, he'd hold it, and he could make a run and he'd get it back.
And that's all Davis has to do. I mean, at the end, they are midfielders scoring more goals than our forwards. Now, that's not looking good on the strikers, given we thought Watkins and Ings would be a minimum 25, 30 goal partnership this season.
Well, that's it. A lot of Villa fans make some big predictions. I mean, I remember people saying before this run of games we had saying, "Oh, we're going to get 15 points from, those 5, 10. We're going to get this amount of points. We're going to win this game 3-0." And I'm just thinking, we need to calm down a little bit because we're not the finished product. We're nowhere near the finished product. And we're going to have these sort of games where we we look really good for 20 minutes and then terrible for like 60. And Leeds, that the one thing they have got going for them is everyone knows the game plan. They're a settled team. And that's probably what stopped us from taking all 3 points yesterday, is that they've just got a team that know their job. They sort of ground out the game. Into the second half we were 3-1 up.
No. The second half was
3-2 up. Yes, there was
3-2.
the goal just before halftime, which was terrible. It was a bit unlucky how it came off Douglas Luiz and just spooned up right in front of the crossbar. But I think Emmy could have done a bit better. I think
could he have punched it? Because I felt like the ball came to him. Why aren't you going up for it, Emmy?
Yeah, it seemed a bit. He made some quite un-Emmy decisions last night. I don't think he was terrible, but there was a few times where I was expecting more. But yeah, Mings didn't really jump, and then him and Buendia somehow managed to leave the ball for Daniel James, who put it into into the net from a couple of yards out. Then we go in at 3-2, and Leeds have probably got their tail up a bit, thinking, all right, this is back on. And they equalize in the second half with another mistake from Mings. Tommy, is the defense being too exposed? Where are the problems coming from? Is it from the center midfield, Douglas Luiz? Is it just the way we're playing the system?
I think Gerrard needs more time to analyze the plays he's got at the helm. I'm sure he's probably been promised awards, but I think the defense needs reassessing. I don't think we have that dominant defensive presence. Consis is good, raw talent, still up and coming. He's more consistent than Mings. Mings is more the veteran. Somehow he's earned the captain's ban, which sometimes baffles me. I still think it should be McGinn. But anyway, I think we really need to maybe look at a world-beating centre-back. I'm not saying we're going to get a Ramos or someone, but I definitely think we need a centre-back that people fear. Every team seems to have one except us. Brighton have Dunk, and they've also got Webster, who's actually pretty consistent. Every team's got that, so except us. So that's my worry. So I think a really good centre back needs to come in, just to let the centre backs know, hey, your spots aren't guaranteed either, mate. Because we had Watkins who thought his spot was on a plate, but you bring Ings and now he's facing being dropped because you're not scoring. And football's a business and it's a game. It's a results-driven game and industry, and we need to get wins. We need to get points, especially with the target that we probably have on our back now that Gerrard's here.
And that's it, Troy. Newcastle had a really good win against Everton this week. Looked pretty good. They got the new signings. I don't know if can Target play against us. Probably not.
No.
But
are you actually worried if he does?
Look,
seeing him on free kicks was
he'll be fired up. He'll be fired up, but
he's ginger, mate. He's always fired up.
He was really good. Chris Wood.
Trippier's out, I think, for our game.
Okay, that's good news for us. But
he's got grazed knees from sliding too hard after he scored.
Our problem is that, and I think if you have a look at Emi Martinez, and now I speak from experience as a goalkeeper because I played as a goalkeeper 3 times in under 45 Division 4. But when you've got confidence with the players in front of you, you play well. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Martinez had a particularly sloppy game when the 2 central defenders in front of him were galactically shit. And I think they were shit because, as we've seen, McGinn had to go right to cover Cash. That left Dougie Luiz pretty isolated. And it wasn't that Leeds were passing it around like a Man City and finding that killer pass and threading it through, that Mings and Konsa deal with quite well. They just threw everything. The ball was all over the place. It was, Gerrard and Ramsey said it was like a game of basketball. The ball was up and down. It was left and right. It was all over the place. It caused mass confusion. Dougie Loyes was all over the place. I didn't think he was that great, and it caused problems with Mings and Konza, and that threaded through to Martinez, who didn't have a particularly good. Basically, defensively, it was a nightmare.
It was a shit show, and it goes back like going back to your point. When at the start of last season, when we went on that run where we weren't conceding goals, Martinez was the best goalkeeper in the league. So
yeah.
It just shows like if you do have confidence in your back four, that does lift your game and lifts everyone's game, and that is the one thing that Gerrard. The first few weeks when he came in, we were coming off the 5 losses. Obviously, it looked like the defense was pretty secure, but the last few weeks, there has been a few incidents where it looks like we're a bit all over the shop, and hopefully we can get that fixed because these next few games are crucial, really, starting with Newcastle on Sunday.
I think the international break probably ruins teams' rhythm and momentum as well. So I think that, we could probably attribute some of it to that. Not that our players are, most of them probably aren't starting at international level. I think that's probably attributed to it. But I think our form was somewhat better pre-international break, and I wish that didn't come at that time as opposed to now. So, look, we can take this as a learning curve and go from there. But I think Newcastle will be, red hot firing. There's a lot of momentum around them at the moment. Everyone wants to see them go down because it'd be fun to just see this team that had these, billionaires take over this big consortium, and to see them go down would be priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Norwich picked up a couple of points. So yeah, the pressure is really on them. And
go Dino Smith.
Yeah. And
Firstly, I think seeing Everton. Sorry, go on. Sorry, Scotty, go on.
No, yeah, keep going. I was going to say Everton. Yeah,
they'll get dragged in. They'll get dragged in.
They are dragged in, and I part of me thinks that Steven Gerrard may see this as a bit of a scalp if they do go down, considering we nicked Dean, and it'd probably put a couple of nails in their coffin. And obviously, he doesn't particularly like Everton, and I think he'll almost.
And I think Lampard
that.
As well. Gerrard and Lampard always had that rivalry. So it'd be funny if Lamps goes down.
I think Gerrard might consider that his first little trophy, even though there's no trophy for it.
Absolutely, I think it's a mental victory. But the thing is, Everton do have the cattle on the park. I wouldn't mind Nick and Richarlison if they do go down though.
Yeah, he's a good player, but I don't like him.
You don't like him?
He's too much of a hot header.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see.
The net is.
It'd be interesting to see if El Ghazi gets a game for them.
Why wouldn't he? They're trash at the moment.
Exactly. But,
Anwar's actually a good player. I think people forget that. Look, he can be really good, really bad as well. But I just feel like he was never given a consistent run. He went on a scoring tear. I remember it was late 2020. Scored like 4 goals. He was in line for Player of the Month or something.
He was, and that's the one thing he always did have was a goal threat. I mean, he could go in and out of games, and
he was on pens. He was safe. You knew when he took a pen. I was already celebrating, and I never do that.
Yeah,
that's it. But he's not here as well as a few others. So we've got to do with what we can, and hopefully, Buendia and Coutinho aren't too bad, and they will be okay for the Newcastle game. But going into the Newcastle game, let's get your predictions and lineups. Starting with you, Troy. Any changes?
It's a tough one. Do you know what? I don't think I don't think Newcastle are as clever as Leeds. I don't think they're as cut and thrust as Leeds. They won't attack us down the wings like Leeds did. So I'd go with the same team. So Maximin and Joel Linton are going to cause Mings and Konza big problems. I would very much like to hope that our centre backs have got their heads straight for this game, and if they play like they have been for most of the season, I can see 2 or 3-0 to us. If Mings and Konza carry this little bit of a head fuck that they've got going into this game, then I think it could.
Oh, you said it before me, Scott.
Yeah, he's going to be suspended.
He's got the.
Of course he is.
Yes.
Of course it is. House. Okay, then. Look, it could be 2-0 to somebody. I'm just not sure who. I'd 2-0 to somebody.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sitting on the fence.
Tommy,
I'm going bold. I was until Troy just said what did, I was going to say Chambers in for concert because I heard he's been doing well, you said. But I do think we'll go with your Horse just because they've got a big physical presence up front. And I don't care if Horse plays hoofball, he's a threat, even on corners. So I think there'll be him. I think Ings will start for Watkins. So it'll be Horse for concert, Ings for Watkins, rest stays as is. I think 3-2 Villa. With a center with Mings or Horse will score off a corner, I think.
Okay, well, I think
for them or us.
I hope in the right net.
I think 2-1 Villa, and I'm going to say Ings for Watkins as well, and I think Chambers will probably start instead of Hawes for the suspended concert. But yeah. All right. Well,
Trippier on Dean will actually be a very attacking wing back game. That'll be an attack all game. That'll be exciting to watch.
No, apparently Trippier's out. I read today Trippier's out. I don't know the reasons for it, but I read a couple of places he's gone. Which is good.
I swear he played the full 90.
Yeah, he played.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He played, but
and then Cash on target will be Cash should rip target a new one.
Or target on Coutinho.
Wait. Target's only loan, isn't he?
Yeah, so he won't play. He won't be playing. Yeah.
Who do they have? Is it Paul Dummett? Who they got
Dummett. Yeah. He's terrible.
This should be fun.
Yeah. Coutinho on Dummett. Good luck.
Look, 3-2 is my prediction, but could this be the breakout game that we maybe need?
Look, I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we'll win. I think we'll win, but I don't think we're going to thrash them.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 2-1.
I just think based on this morning's performance for us, I think we'll concede a goal or two just because it'll take a while to shake those cobwebs out. It's not an overnight thing, and Newcastle are pretty fierce at the moment, especially at home. There's always been fierce rivalry between them and us.
Yeah. It has, and I would put Ings up front. Sorry, I agree with you boys of that. Watkins has got to sit.
I just think with Buendia and Coutinho, they don't play long balls. These guys are on the ground, on the deck, and Ings one touch, second touch usually back of the net. So I think Ings has to start, and I feel bad for the guy because it's happened at Liverpool. He got brought in there, was meant to score, but I think obviously a lot more pressure and competition there. Didn't get the chance he deserved, and went to Southampton, did really well. And I'm still shocked that they even let him go. Yeah, they let him, but then they got that Armando Broja, whatever his name is, from Chelsea, who's an absolute superstar. Quality. Could that be someone that we may be going for? Because I think he's only on loan.
I think Chelsea might want him back, and they'll have Lukaku and him and get rid of Werner. But
Lukaku on the bench, the way he's going.
Yeah, I think he'll turn it around. I think Chelsea aren't really using him properly.
Is there an update on the Chukwuemeka contract situation? Because I feel like Gerrard's been bringing on more ever since we started hearing rumors circulating about the contract issue. No
news on that one. I did like what Gerrard said after the game about Ramsey, though. I don't know if you heard his comments saying that he's a special player, and he's going to be better than even the media might think at the moment that they're bigging him up. That he thinks he's going to be absolutely incredible.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you put Ramsey in a year? Do you put him on par with the likes of maybe Jude Bellingham? Because he's been consistent as shit so far, and he's got goals to his repertoire.
I think Jude Bellingham's done it at a higher level. He's had some killer games in the Champions League and that sort of thing. So I would say not quite yet, but if he's still playing like this time next season, sure. I think he's on his way. I think he's a very unique player in that he's good on his left foot, he's good on his right foot. He can run all day. He's intelligent. He makes good timing on his runs. The run for his first goal is as good as the pass from Coutinho, because as soon as Coutinho gets that ball, he knows that Coutinho is good enough to turn his man, so he just goes. He's off. And if he doesn't go straight away and gamble in that situation, then it doesn't happen. So, knowing those little things, knowing your teammates and what they're capable of, and the fact that once Coutinho turns, he's going to be looking for you. That's real intelligence, and that's something that I think his game has gone from from a sort of a C+ last season to an A.
Yeah.
Just in his intelligence.
Most improved by far. And the fun thing was, I think last season he was, that rising star as well. So he's really starting to fulfill that potential. I think maybe, new contract is probably needed at some point to tie these talents down.
Yeah. I mean, like he was getting 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and all. He was a bit of an up and coming player.
First sub was usually the first sub on or the first one coming off if he did start. But now it's more like, I'm still shocked. Yeah, like you said, that Gerrard dragged him of all players.
Yeah. But have you noticed over the last couple of weeks, we've stopped hearing that, but his brother's better.
Yeah, that's not being said very often now.
That's not.
His
trajectory is like this.
How's his brother going?
Don't know.
I think he might have went on loans somewhere, but I can't
remember the journalist thought it was.
I need Noah.
The journalist, and the journalist thought it was Aaron Ramsey. They got he's been killing it at Villa. I can't believe it.
No, but it is nice not to have know-it-all with the quiz on, just a bit of a break from. I think he's getting a bit too cocky for his boots. Yeah, know-it-all.
Yeah.
and Noah, we're hoping you watch this, you little prick. So stop studying before the quiz.
That's it. Well, I'm going to have to start docking in points before the quiz, I think.
I think we need to start him on negative. Look, honestly, he puts in the work and I know we give him shit, but he really makes the podcast with his little analytics like Noah's Corner, we should call it. Noah at all. Yeah, I think that's his new nickname in Sydney next week for work. So Noah and I actually gone for dinner.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So we'll take some photos. We'll let you know.
Excellent.
I'll send him your wife's regards.
You can break down the dinner on the podcast next week. So
100%. Or we can take the podcast at the dinner.
Yeah.
Well, that would be good one day when all this COVID stuff's blown over. If we get
sorry, Troy.
together.
I thought you were from Sydney. That's why I'm like, I'm there on the 20. I'm on the 22nd to the 24th.
Yeah.
Or 25th technically.
No.
I lived in Sydney for 15 years.
Yeah, that's why I remember something about Sydney. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's a banana bender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so couldn't Aman make it tonight?
He's running late, so I don't think he's made it. But it's
yeah,
all right.
okay, yeah, right. He had his chance to shine, Aman. You blew it, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, what number podcast are we at, Scott? Because and again, also this is probably we don't know kissing us.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a bit 28. Thanks to all the fans. We've got Coxie, we've got Kathy, we've got bloody half the Cooper generation.
There's a lot of Coopers on board.
With burner accounts on YouTube by the sounds of it. No one wants to expose their real name.
If anybody wants some customized wallpaper or something, Scotty, we'll happily do that for them as well. Maybe something about Coutinho's lovely balls.
Look, it sounds great. We can get it on the intro. Yeah, that's we can have Noah's Corner and Coutinho's balls.
Coutinho Hub, we'll call it.
Well, we've got one with Emi Martinez, don't we? He didn't have a particularly good week, but maybe we'll put a link to it down in the thing. So if somebody wants a wallpaper, they can grab that.
Definitely. Like Troy's very talented when it comes to the wallpapers, and so we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thanks again for watching. It's been fantastic. It was a great game. Good for the neutral. Not so good for the villains being 3-1 up and only getting a point. But there was some wonderful signs in that first half. And Jacob Ramsey and Philip Coutinho, got to love it. It's good to have some positivity back at Villa Park. And going into Newcastle, I think we can do it. We're all pretty confident that we've got enough quality for them and we can go on a bit of a run. We just got to fix that defense and some of the silly errors. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Spotify as well now. So make sure you get on there and, give us a follow on Spotify. And we will all see you on early next week after the Newcastle game. So up the Villa and catch you all later.
Say hi to your mum for me.
See you.
Say hi to your mum for me.